And with our last topic of this session, we will leave also a little bit the time frame of this conference, but nevertheless, I think it's an important contribution on the position of Geyl in the international context, namely Geyl as a public intellectual historian in Postwar Europe. The lecture will be given by Remco Ensel, who is connected to the Radboud University of Nijemegen. He worked a great deal on the Holocaust and anti-Semitism in the Netherlands, and I'm very happy to have him here with us today.
So in January 1948, Pieter Geyl debated Arnold Toynbee at the BBC radio studio on their profession and on the catastrophe that had befallen the world. During that period, both historians presented themselves as authoritative public intellectuals. The debate, which developed to an intense dispute after 1948, illustrates how differently they perceived their role in the post-war world. Toynbee was not afraid to supply the general public with political and moral advice across the boundaries of his specialist knowledge. Geyl had a more restricted role in mind for historiography. In my contribution, the two approaches are somewhat compared, although our focus is on Geyl's position as a public historian. Before I start, I need to say a few words on how I got to Pieter Geyl, an historian whom I knew, of course, but until recently never had read. While being involved in the debate in the Netherlands on the role of so-called bystanders in the genocidal process of the Holocaust, I noticed certain specifics in the way the debate evolved. And I wondered whether, when looking at other historical debates, limiting myself to those related to genocides, these specifics might in fact be patterns. Two are especially relevant here. The manner is the first one, in which the status and the authority of the historian is played out. And secondly, the role of public, non-academic media. There are more, but these two are relevant here, I think. Then, as historical work goes, intrigued by the case study at hand, other questions popped up. So this is very much work in progress, and moreover unavoidable at occasions like these. There's some repetition in biographical details and insights, but I hope they nevertheless make sense within the context of of the subject at hand. So Pieter Geyl was an engaged historian, as you all know. He considered the practice of history a serious occupation based on skills, and thought its influence should not be restricted within the walls and media of university. Geyl, who worked as a journalist, you all know, published in journals, in gids, public periodicals. He was a polemicist, a debater, who knew how to keep his fellow historians on their toes. So the Dutch historian Nick van Sass called him a troublemaker, a firebrand, always contrary, but in an infectious manner. Geyl's biographer, Van der Hoeven, likened him to an English intellectual, to whom the scholarly practice involves an element of play, including fierce polemics, which, however, were not meant to affect personal relations. The pleasure of this gentleman's disagreement was dominant, but it would be wrong to think that this was an insignificant game. Geyl was extremely indignant that he had shown himself overly respectful, and he had even exhibited humble kowtowing in his debate with Arnold Toynbee. Geyl did not like it at all that mildness was attributed to him. His opponent, I quote, argues that I spare my adversaries and only put up a sham fight. On the contrary, I quote, in my polemics I've always endeavored to give my opponent the full measure. And this was especially true when he told Toynbee that his approach made a mockery of the most elementary notions of their profession. Even among his best friends, Geyl hardly ever engaged in small talk, so it is said. Observing historiography and debating, that was his passion. And in doing so, he employed a complete register the historian has at its disposal, including the deployment of his authority as an established historian and the rhetorical strategy of denying a colleague the status of historian. So Geyl's battleground as an historian was the early modern era, but nonetheless he knew as no other how the historian is affected by current events. He is being a journalist for the NRC, the New Rotterdamse Courant. He was interned in Kamp Buchenwald and 2 years in St. Michaelskastel, where he wrote the sonnets, an autobiography, and Patriotten and NSB'ers. In this latter book, Geyl negated the argument that the rather unpopular 18th century Patriot Party and members of the of the National Socialist Party NSB could be equated as traitors to the country. And also his historiographic study on Napoleon is a product of these Western years. So the irresistible parallel between Emperor, the French Emperor, and Hitler forced itself on Geyl even before the war, even before Jacques Presser took Hitler and Stalin as models for his biography of Napoleon. So after the war, the parallel with Hitler was effortlessly recognized in Geyl's internationally praised book, and the respect for his years in imprisonment also resonated in its status. And conversely, Geyl's book led to historiographic studies on Hitler, Auschwitz, and Hiroshima. So contemporary history, contemporary dictatorship supplied Geyl with a subject, and his study induced, although with some delay, historical reflections on the recent history of repression and mass violence. So during these years, Geyl positioned himself as a public intellectual. In his comparative study of public presentations, post-war historians in Germany and Italy, the öffentliche Praxis der Historiker, the German historian Marcel von Ween also speaks of public intellectuals. He follows Stefan Collini in his description of the intellectual as someone who, on the basis of his cultural authority, seeks publicity to consider general issues for a large public. Von Ween avoids the concept of public historian, since people thus revert to, rather present themselves as experts. There's also Michel Foucault's distinction between the universal and specific intellectual. I think that's a relevant distinction, where Geyl presents himself more as a specific intellectual. But in any case, according to both descriptions, Geyl can be considered a public intellectual. Nonetheless, I prefer the more precise term of public historian, because of the opportunity it offers to investigate the specific and historically developed professional role of the historian. So Pierre Nord's position supports me here. So Historien Public is the title of a collection of essays by this French historian, archivist, publisher, and he's primarily known for the multi-volume Lieux de Mémoire, but Nord's career testifies to a much broader engagement with numerous social and intellectual issues. So the historien public as envisioned by Nora is not a representative of public history, so applied or popular history. With the knowledge and the skills of his profession, Nora's public historian takes part and intervenes in public debate. His prime objective is not entertainment, although that is part of his performance. The public historian informs, nuances, contextualizes, comments and puts issues present in society on the agenda. So the public character of historiography in history played an important part, of course, in the German Historikerstreit. The German philosopher Jürgen Habermas stated the following on occasion of a publication by the historian Ernst Nolte, and I take the quote as kind of devised as a motto. I quote, "It's not an issue of Popper versus Adorno. It's not a question of disputes about scientific theory. It's not a question about value-free analysis. It's about the public use of history." So this quote from Habermas is from an article in Die Zeit, which Habermas wrote in response to an article by Nolte in the Frankfurter Allgemeine about the war and the persecution of the Jews. And in his article, Habermas explained that if Nolte had written or published his controversial opinion in an historical journal, the philosopher would not have reacted. Indeed, I quote, "I would never even have laid eyes on it. Ich hätte die Debatte gar nicht zu Gesicht bekommen." But now that it concerned the contribution in full public gaze, Habermas felt obliged to react. For the Historikerstreit, as the polemic about the position of the Holocaust in German history came to be known, was now no longer restricted to the ivory tower of historiography. The debate had become public, and the historian was now a public historian who, on the basis of his authority, approached the social issue, the laborious processing of the charged past. So it's noteworthy in this case that Ernst Nolte would later declare that his approach and vision had been influenced by what he called the international Toynbee debate of 1955 and 1956. And particularly by Toynbee's vision on the Jews and persecution. But Geyl played a crucial role in opening up this debate, possibly not only because of his opinion on the issue, but maybe also because of his interpretation of the role a historian should play in society. So Pieter Geyl was not only the historiographer of the debate, but also a debater himself. And he saw historiography as a social activity in which the historian always balances between his engagement as a citizen and detachment of the academic. This presupposes a necessary reflection on the profession of historian, on the authority which the historian in his role of knowledge specialist can employ, and on the obligation this entails. How does the individual historian operate, and how does the historical community function in the social force field of interested parties and people concerned? So as a variation on Geyl's famous saying that history is a discussion without end, I got intrigued by the question how this historical discussion actually starts and on what lines it is held. So Geyl's famous, somewhat apodictic quote comes from the introduction to his historiographic study about Napoleon. I think we'll learn a bit more about this. So just as in the case of Ranke's saying, "Brostzeigen niet eigenlijk gelezen," this phrase was more or less lifted from the context and turned into kind of aphorism. So Geyl was apparently pleased with his find and had the phrase included in the head of his introduction. The article in the heading, "The Discussion Without End," suggests that he thought the phrase only applied to the French publications about Napoleon, but as we know, nothing could be further from the truth. For Geyl, its meaning went much further and was broader. Difference of opinion, discussion, and debate are inherent to historiography. To God, truth may be one, but for man it's many-faced. So the international success of his Napoleon study will have stimulated Geyl to proceed with his investigation in debates with historians, and how fitting then that the German edition appeared under the title of the discussion ohne Ende. And in the original text, the quote had been put at the end of the introduction. Now it had been promoted to book title, and the writer of the introduction, German historian Franz Petri, who has some history and this debate about himself, had opted for the italicization of the phrase, or original nicht cursiv, it says. Jo Tollebeke, the historian, has pointed out that the titles of Geyl's essay collections suggest that he thought in terms of reactions and tourneys. Historiography is a battleground, possibly also a joust. But I should say this is a serious game, a rule-bound social practice in which people, as homines ludentes, broach social issues. Historiography is simultaneously a fight, a tournament, a game in which some play within the rules, others dodge the rules, still others make their own rules, to which they then subject the other participants, as I found out in the debate which I support. All of this recalls Johan Huizinga's considerations on the family resemblances of between play and war. So in Homo Ludens, Huizinga devoted a chapter to each of the three related forms: play and law, play and war, play and knowledge or science. So also in scholarship, the elements of play in the shape of competition and controversy was present. The debate as play and as a war directs us to the arena, the competition, the transgressions, the moral outrage, the conventions about self-control and discipline, the tacit knowledge, the unwritten rules. So Geyl was full of praise about the French polemics, or love of polemics, and added that we also had known times when our history was our political battleground. There are certain dangers involved in such a use of history. I would be the last to deny it. But it brings it closer to the public. It enables it to permeate and enrich public life. So Geyl's words seem to me tinted by nostalgia or jealousy of the French polemic public sphere. For, as recently has been remarked about the present-day historical community. In the Netherlands, it was on occasion of a review of the biography of Rubion. In the Netherlands, the historical truth is not a boxing ring, but a negotiation table. So, Geyl and Toynbee got involved in this model debate. 90-year-old Toynbee and 60-year-old Geyl. And it was not held in one of the scientific journals or at the scientific conference. The debate took place at the invitation of the BBC at the British Radio Studio on behalf of the program, The Wavelength of Intellectuals, as Geyl in Geyl's words. Toynbee had been given radio talks for some time, and Geyl is also an experienced radio speaker. I've just heard that there's no catalogue of all his radio contributions. Maybe that's something that still needs to be done. The debate was broadcasted on the 4th of January and 7th March of 1948. And in the same year, the transcript was published with a Dutch publisher, Can We Know the Pattern of the Past? And in the radio guide, the debate was scheduled at 40 minutes. The published version seems to be not to have yielded 2 times 40 minutes, so there must have been an editorial selection. The use of radio, in any case, illustrates the importance of non-academic media to these post-war-years to reach the general public and professional historians. So, for instance, in her memoirs, the Groningen historian Berne Evels-Hoging described how she was introduced to the discipline of historiography through courses on Toynbee and his radio debates with Geyl, even though a lecturer dismissed historiography as a kind of spielerij, just fooling around. So both historians were familiar with the transfer of historical knowledge to the general public and with the role of public intellectuals. But Geyl cast himself as Toynbee's counterpart in the role of the searching historian averse to overarching structures and theories. I believe the origins of the radio debate lay in the Dutch academic world. Already in August 1946, Geyl was able to acquire the first 6 volumes of study in history through his old friend, historian David Mitrani. And in Geyl's opinion, the Amsterdam historian, his name has been mentioned already, Jan Romein, he was an avid admirer of Toynbee as Geyl thought, and it therefore seemed a good idea to challenge his competitor with a biting critique in a lecture before the Dutch Historical Society. Or, as he wrote to Karl Gerritsen, "This is the book that is so admired by Romein, but that he has not understood at all." So Geyl was irritated by Romein's praise and by his tendency to ridicule ordinary historians and as navigators lost at sea, in contrast to the great historical philosophers who with compass in hand surveyed the general course of history. He took aim at Toynbee to get at Romein. For me, Romein obviously was the background to this, he explained to Gerritsen, after he had earlier written to him that he found Toynbee's book fascinating and lively, and moreover, beautifully written. In his second review in 1955, Geyl again introduced the neo-Marxist Romein as an advocate of Toynbee. But already in 1947, Romein had understood that he was the real target. In his letter to Geyl, he approached him that he had rashly and paternalistically judged the book from which he himself had been studying for 2 years. Geyl thought the letter petty, weak and small-minded. In 1946, Geyl held his lecture on Toynbee and published a translated version of it in the Journal of the History of Ideas. Subsequently, he received his BBC invitation. So on the 1st of January 1948, exactly a year after his correspondence with Romein, Geyl left for London for a week or so. So it's interesting that Toynbee opened the debate in Geyl's style with a game metaphor. Well, the BBC has put up for you a kind of historian's cricket match. And, he says, the bowler has just delivered his ball. On other occasions, Toynbee seems to have preferred boxing metaphors. The booklet on the radio debate actually consists of 2 successive monologues when reading Toynbee's contribution. As I said a minute ago, we are made aware of the passing of time. That's part of a debate in the format of a conversation. At another point, Toynbee says he would like to correct an impression our listeners may have got. So interruptions are lacking, but it's clear that speakers react to each other, to each other's arguments and objections. And also Geyl once encouraged Toynbee to elaborate upon a theme, because our listeners would be very much interested to hear what you say about that. And then there's the inevitable Toynbee, our time is up. There are just a few seconds left. So in this way, the debate would give the impression of a real conversation. Geyl had greatly enjoyed the radio discussion, and furthermore, he had heard that the laurels went to G. The debate confirmed Geyl's global fame, but he himself was generous enough to admit that that was completely due to Toynbee's fame, the fame of Toynbee, which he, as a critic, could grasp. So Geyl had chosen his opponent well. The report of the debate is rather sterile, but will have been intended for the attentive reader, the British intellectual, the Dutch intellectual. So this conversation was not about peanuts, but about the state of humanity in the post-war world. Central was the role which the historian, endowed with significant authority, could fulfill in offering orientation in these confusing and disturbing times. The radio debate was not just a reflection of a substantial conversation between 2 academically trained historians. Here, 2 people were talking in a world that just experienced World War II and a mass murder without compare. So, we now read Geyl's discussion without end as timeless aphorism. maybe a platitude. But it can also be interpreted as a phrase bound by time and place. For instance, Geyl introduced the phrase by referring to Jan Romein's fear for dissolving of clear, homogeneous historical image, the notion of vergruizing. And in comparable way, he writes about his meeting with Soviet historians who were weighted down by mental regimentation in a discussion without end, he then says, which to me, I quote, which to me and most of my Western colleagues is the practice of our profession. Their work, the Soviet historians, was an impressive show of arms, but filled with parallel stories. Papagaaien aan boord were talking. Unhindered discussion without end, was a pillar of civilization which in Geyl's time, mid-20th century, was still shamelessly identified with the West. The debate at the BBC radio studio was proof of the rationality of Western civilization. So in this sense, you might say the discussion without end was also about Cold War politics. How much time? 2 minutes. All right. Okay. Let me see.
It will be published.
It will be published. I know. Okay. Well, the debate which I'm dealing with, where I'm going into, is about how the Holocaust, how the mass murder, for which the word Holocaust is not yet used, is debated in this radio debate and later on in the public debate with Toynbee. I will now conclude by saying a few words on the different approach to being a historian. So Geyl felt compelled to complain that Toynbee, in his endeavor to become a prophet of his time, neglected conventional debate rules. Toynbee, being a prophet, as Geyl has said, found it hard to react to the criticism of his opponent. He did not seek the truth, for he already knew it. In Toynbee's vision, the image of history was clear and simple, if only those historians would stop making it so unnecessarily complicated. But it was Toynbee's own work that was filled with the non sequiturs and contradictions, and the far-fetched comparisons, the dizzying assumptions. He dwells in a world of his own imagining, said Geyl, where the challenges of his rational thinking mortals cannot reach him. The debate which Geyl, according to his adagium, that history is a discussion without end, that made into the core of his profession, was from Toynbee's position hardly rewarded. In his in memoriam on Geyl, Toynbee even turned this into a gimmick. He had consciously avoided debate with Geyl, for, I quote, a sure way of teasing him was to decline battle. And then my last words. So there's a difference between Geyl and Toynbee. In Toynbee's historical model, people wandered around as defenseless and helpless monads, maybe also to Geyl in Romein's view, in a world ruled by great historical processes. But Geyl's historical model still saw people as individuals in mutual connection, each with his own agenda and age. This had direct consequences. So in Toynbee's world, people had no individual guilt. They were victims of circumstance. So this may explain Toynbee's popularity in post-war Germany. This appeal to inevitability, doomed fate of a certain generation, which would return in historic strife. For Geyl there was hope, not in Christianity as Toynbee had it, or in any other system filling the future, but in his promise of an open future with people who, as moral creatures, are able to make choices. This point of view of Geyl also directs our judgment, I would say, of the connectedness in time and place of historians. That's the public.